Welcome to Vinex Studio. Let's start making games. Hi and welcome. In this video, we are going to see how to instantiate a game object during runtime. Before understanding how to instantiate a game object, let's see what is a prefab. Now, say you have a game object here in your scene, a cube. Now this cube is called a game object. But if you drag and drop this cube on your project window, it becomes a prefab. As you can see, it's a prefab asset. That means you can replicate this cube as many times you want. These prefabs are used for game objects that are required in multiple places. For example, a player can be a prefab. So you can spawn your player at any time, anywhere you want. So how do you spawn that player? How do you spawn that prefab? That's where Unity Instantiate Function is used. Now that we have created a prefab, we can delete the cube from our scene. Then we'll create an empty game object and we'll call it spawner. We'll add a script to it and we'll call it spawn script. Create and add. So now we have created a prefab and we have added a script. So now let's go into editing the script. We don't need these two using functions. I don't know why Unity adds them. We don't need update also. We are going to instantiate in the start function. So before you can instantiate, you need a game object. So we are going for public game object, our prefab. It is very simple to instantiate a game object. You just have to use the instantiate function and the first input will be a game object, that is our prefab. Then you give the position where you want the prefab to spawn. So in our case, let us spawn in the same place where this empty game object is. So transform.position. Then you give the rotation. So if you want to keep the rotation of the prefab as it is, then you give quanterneon.identity. Or if you know what the rotation should be, then you can give a quanterneon rotation there. So that's it. Now, since we have created a public game object, we'll have to assign the public game object. Let's go back to our scene. And we should see an empty prefab here. So let's drag our cube into the game object slot. So now we are assigned the prefab. And when we start the game object should spawn at this position, that is 0, 0, 0. So let's play. So the cube is instantiated in the scene, as you can see here. And when you instantiate, it's called, it gets the name cube clone. So if you're using GameObject.find to find this object, then you should remember that you have to use clone in the bracket to find it. Any instantiated object or prefab will have this name clone in the bracket. Okay. That being said, instantiate is actually a very performance expensive function in Unity. So rather than using instantiate, if you have to spawn the object multiple times in a game, then it might increase your garbage data. So to avoid that, what people generally do is the game object that requires multiple spawning or requires destroying and spawning again. So those kinds of things are generally kept in the scene view and are kept inactive. They are set to active whenever they are required. So that way you don't have to instantiate or destroy the game object. You can just set it to active and inactive. So that is a workaround for this. So use instantiate wisely so that your performance is not affected. See you in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.